morning. It's Father's Day, and I duck here with the Lotus, and I snuck out a little early while the family's sleeping to tinker in the car and do oil change number two. Um, I'm halfway through, and there's just a quick little video, but a couple things to note. First of all, I do listen to your comments and suggestions, and this time I left the diffuser on, and the panel slid off pretty easily. And while I got things apart, I'll just show you some extra footage that I didn't show you last time on some of the differences and nuances of oil changes. So here goes.
Here's the bottom engine tray taken off, and for any of you who've taken off the S1 Evora engine tray, it is definitely different. Instead of having a cluster of NACA ducts, we have 3 separate NACA ducts, and I'm missing the vent of my center one, plastic vent. The engine pipe cutouts are different, and then this thing has spacers, which are a PIY, pain in you know what. But these spacers are important, I guess, because the 400 has significant heat issues, and so therefore they wanted to drop the tray, and there's actually this whole line of vents which add extra airflow into the engine compartment. Bottom looks like this. Similar shape, but again, I'll show you later when installed, has this drop off of about an inch to allow more space for air into the engine compartment. Again, it has a bunch of ducts to let more air in, and therefore to install it you have these spacers, and the spacers from the factory come with, I don't know if you can see here, each spacer has a little tiny rubber O-ring to hold in place, but they deteriorate, and so I've just put some electrical tape on some of them to allow them to be held in place while being installed. I know the electrical tape will probably melt and disappear as well, but at least it helps the installation. So that here is the diffuser tray, and then we'll call it a good video this last time, but this is the actual oil filter cartridge. And I'm using Fram oil filters, and I'll pull one out in 1 second. Oil filters I use, I like them. They seem to be of high quality. Includes a filter, which again seems to be of high quality, gaskets, and a center drain plug, which center drain plug funnel, I guess, which I don't use. I just take the filter off and let things drip, and I wipe. But there's what comes in the kit. So now we're going to go ahead and remove the filter and gasket. And then you take off those O-ring. The second O-ring is actually if you take off the bottom, which I've not bothered to access. So basically I'm going to take off this O-ring, put a new filter in, and then pop it back into place. So there it is with the filter in place, new O-ring installed. So now we will install it back onto the... So this is where the cartridge goes. First you just want to hand tighten it, which I'll do in a second, and then secure it with a wrench. Panning back, here's the oil pan, here's the exhaust collectors. You notice how much bigger the tube is compared to the Series 1 or S. Other differences underneath. The diffuser plate is actually basically the same as on the S1, but instead of having blanking plates, we actually have little scoops as well, I guess for more airflow to cool the exhaust, and third catalytic converter. It also has a cutout specifically for the valve, which I guess heats up pretty well, and some people talk about it failing over time, so that's probably to guard for that. Here's the exhaust, which actually has one single outlet. And then there's a diffuser, which of course is a different shape entirely, as we talked about in the previous video.
So this is just the camera in my hand facing backwards. Now you can see the engine plate back in place, and notice how it is dropped about an inch to allow a full front vent to allow additional air to come in for the more powerful 400 engine. As I cruise backwards, you will then see cutouts for the exhaust, as well as the 3 NACA ducts, and then finally the 2 vents in the diffuser, as well as a cutout for the vent. So anyway, hope this additional information for the oil change is helpful and gives you some information about the nuances of the 400. Continue to follow us and hope to see you again soon. Enjoy.